Hello and welcome to Everyday Champions in Business, hosted by Action Coach Dane County. Action Coach is the world's #1 business coaching company, and this is your opportunity to hear the stories, the tips, and the insider information that makes business and entrepreneurship the greatest game on the planet. I'm Rob Maniaci, enrollment specialist at Action Coach Dane County, and today it's my pleasure to welcome Stephen Rose, Executive Director of Fisher House, Wisconsin. Welcome, Stephen.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rob, for letting me be here and partake in this.
Yeah, my pleasure. You ready to get started?
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Okay, so tell us who you work for, your role, and how long you've been there.
Yeah. So I work for Fisher House, Wisconsin, which, if you're not familiar with the organization, think Ronald McDonald House for veterans and their families. I'm the executive director, so I'm in charge of our fundraising, public outreach, strategic development, really all-encompassing role. I've only been here for going on 4 weeks now. It's going to be fun, but I've been with the Fisher House organization for a little over 2 years now overall, just back in Michigan.
Okay, well, hey, congratulations on your new role. So give us some background on the Fisher House. How long has the entire organization been around?
Yeah, so Fisher House National was founded late 90s. There's 97 houses across the United States, includes 2 in Germany, 1 in England. We have 1 here so far in Wisconsin that was built in 2016. We're getting ready to build a second one here in Madison. Really exciting time for the local community here at Fisher House, Wisconsin.
And you said it's like a Ronald McDonald House for veterans and their families. How many individual families could stay at a typical Fisher House at any given time?
Yeah, so absolutely, just like the Ronald McDonald House, free lodging, food, support for those families. The Milwaukee house that we have can house up to 16 families a night. We're going to be looking to do the exact same thing with Madison. So right around 11,000 nights of free lodging, food, and support services offered between those 2 locations every year.
Okay, is it all volunteer run? Do you have employees in Wisconsin group?
Yeah, so I'm the only employee at Fisher House, Wisconsin. So we are the private nonprofit that fundraises and builds these houses, and then we actually gift them over to the VA. So it's a really cool public-private partnership. Once the VA takes control of the house, they staff it with a house manager and some housekeeping staff to make sure that the families are being taken care of. Anybody that knows that government role, there's a lot of red tape in terms of getting things done. So that's why the nonprofit stays involved. So we go out of our way to go ahead and make sure that all of the family's needs are being met. We keep the fridges completely stocked full of food. We gather up other volunteers to do home cooked meals for the families. My goal is to make sure that any family that comes to a Fisher House in the state of Wisconsin, that they should go into their pocket for absolutely nothing, so they can really focus on their loved one receiving care and getting them happy, healthy, and back home.
So you partner with the VA for actually the day-to-day operations, but you don't just hand over the keys and you're done with it. There's a partnership ongoing.
Absolutely. So the house here in Milwaukee cost about $7.6 million to build. And people say, well, you just gifted that over to the government. Well, yes, but we do stay involved. And the gift is made under the guise that house will be maintained in the pristine condition it's gifted in. So we want that 10,000th family to have the same red carpet experience as the first. And that's why Fisher House, Wisconsin stays involved, helping every step of the way, making sure that those families are taken care of.
So I know you're new in this role, but what is your vision? What do you hope to accomplish over the next, say, 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, so first things first, building that second Fisher House for families here in Wisconsin and Madison. We're in the process of having the VA acquire land, and then once it happens, it's going to be really fast. I was part of a build back in Michigan. We built Michigan's second Fisher House in Detroit, from groundbreaking until completion of the actual stick and bone of the house. It was only about 9 months, so it happens very, very quickly.
Good. So you're going to be busy. You're going to be busy over the next year. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun. The initial goal is obviously building that first house in Madison, revamping house support, making sure those needs are met, and then traveling around, letting veterans know, hey, this is a free benefit for you and your family, as well as talking and communicating with the other VA medical centers to make sure that they understand that we're willing to help them, and all they have to do is apply for the program, and then we'll do the rest for fundraising and building.
And Stephen, when it comes to raising funds to pay for the construction and ongoing investment, who do you consider your target market? Who's the sweet spot that supports this great nonprofit?
Yeah. So the amazing thing is, it takes a community to build and support a Fisher House. So there's room for everyone. If we had one donor that came through with a $10 million check, that would be great. But unfortunately, that's not too common of an occurrence, even in the nonprofit world. So there's a range of ways to get involved. Obviously, capital campaign is getting ready to kick off for Madison. Big checks make a big difference. But the things that are used the most often in the Milwaukee Fisher House cost only about $20. And, small families and individuals that want to get involved, they can donate things like that to make an actual everyday difference for these families.
Okay.
So there's a huge group that we're targeting, and there's really room for everybody within the mission.
Outstanding. Let's see. Beyond the room and board, what is the real problem you're solving? What is the real value you're delivering?
Yeah. So everybody thinks that it's a program of lodging, and in actuality, it's a program of community. So if you've ever been part of a family medical emergency, firsthand the last person that you're taking care of is yourself. So that's where we get to step up. All hands on deck for you taking care of your loved one, and we're going to take care of you. That way you actually have that ability to sit back, relax, have a little bit of respite, because the very next day, again, it's another 10, 12, 14 hours right there bedside with your loved one. We try to take care of everything small. That way you can focus on what actually matters.
Yeah, that's so important. Amazing. What's the biggest challenge you've had to overcome in your work with Fisher House, whether here in Madison or in Michigan?
Yeah. So awareness is probably the biggest thing. So something like this is amazing, where I get to talk about what we're doing. So we were founded back in 2011 here, and in 2016 back in Michigan. The national program was founded in the early 90s. And there's just so many people that don't know about the program. So be it through the pandemic or just kind of being out farther than we're able to reach, the awareness, so there's veterans where I'll reach them at a local benefits fair, and, I'll hear the story of, I'm heading to Milwaukee to get my knees replaced. And I bring up, are you taking your wife, your caregiver with you? Well, we can't afford a hotel room for 4 nights while we're there. Oh, well, you don't have to. We have a Fisher House there. It's completely free. We're going to take care of your wife. That way she's taken care of, can focus on you, and you can focus on your treatment as well. So the biggest thing is really awareness and letting people know that this is a service. It's not coming out of your tax dollars. We're completely private funded for the builds, and it's all through gifts and grants from individuals that want to repay veterans for what they've done.
So big need for awareness, not only from the civilian community, but the veteran community as well. Just letting everybody know that this is out there.
Absolutely. It's the gift of gab. I tell people all the time is it's an absolutely free gift and donation that you can give us. Talk about us in rooms and let your veterans and their caregivers know.
All right, Stephen, I have a few rapid fire questions. These I want you to just quick 1-word answers, okay? Short, quick, focused responses. Beyond friends and family, who is someone you really admire?
My former boss.
Okay. What is your key to success?
Consistency.
Awesome. What advice would you have for a brand new business owner, entrepreneur, just starting out?
Don't be afraid to succeed.
Okay. And what's a must-read book that you recommend?
Quiet Strength by Tony Dungy.
Thank you. And I read that. Where can we find you online?
All the major social media platforms at Fisher House WI and fisherhousewi.org.
Thank you. Nice job on the rapid fire questions. 2 more questions to go. Is there anything you'd like to include in the form of an offer, a call to action? How can folks get involved with the Madison? What do you want everyone who watches this video to know?
Yeah. So again, just the awareness that what we're doing and how we're trying to help veterans and families, not only from Wisconsin, but we're housing veterans and families coming in from all over the United States and beyond, utilizing healthcare systems here in our own backyard. So if there is ever an opportunity where people think, hey, maybe Fisher House could benefit from being here, be it a benefits fair, a local meeting at, their church group or their American Legion, I would love to come in and be able to talk and kind of spread the mission, as I like to say it.
Okay, good. Yeah. So wherever, any event you're hosting that Fisher House could be a part of, let you know, reach out.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Thank you for that. And then the last question here, all topics are wide open. It doesn't necessarily have to be Fisher House, but it can be if you want. What's most inspiring to you these days?
Most inspiring, I would have to say, the work that I get to do in the nonprofit puts me in a really unique realm, I like to think. If you get stuck watching the news, you'll see that, everybody's pinned against each other. No one likes each other. But if you really take a moment to look just within your own backyard, there's a lot of good going on in the world. You've got Fraternal Order of the Eagles. They're hosting benefits for, either Fisher House or the Ronald McDonald House, American Cancer Society. There's so many people doing good in your own backyard to where if you ever need a good pick-me-up, just go volunteer at an event and donate a little bit of your time to someone a little bit less fortunate than you. And it's going to be one of the greatest days and moments probably of your year. So the opportunity I have to partake in a lot of these fundraising events and volunteer opportunities it's the most inspiring thing, seeing that there's a lot of good people in the world.
Great advice. Thank you. I've noticed, and people say it over and over again, when you volunteer for something, you end up getting back tenfold what you actually contribute in ways you could never possibly imagine.
Yeah, it's my favorite part of my job is, volunteering my time, doing things a little bit above and beyond. And I sleep very well at night knowing that, I get to see the good that's coming into the world.
Yeah, well said. Thank you. And nice job. That wraps up the interview. We do appreciate your participation. And Stephen, as a thank you, we are going to send you this book. It's autographed by the author, How to Be a Champion Every Day by Joe Theismann. So we will drop that in mail for you today. And if you know anyone else who'd like to participate in one of these videos, or you're watching the video and want to participate or know someone, just shoot them a line to Action Coach Dane County, and we'd love to set that up. Thanks again, Stephen. It's FisherHouseWisconsin.org.
Yes, sir. FisherHouseWisconsin.org, and then at FisherHouseWI on all the major social medias.
Awesome. Thanks again so much, and have a fantastic rest of your day.
Thank you so much, Rob.